What up, off the record?
What up,
What's good?
What up, bro?
What up, doggy? How you doing?
So good. And you?
What's up? Where we at?
Today, where are we? What? Midori.
I'm talking about episodes. You busy? You're jumping the gun.
But you said where we at, so I think location.
Nope. Why?
Oh, are we talking about episodes?
Yeah.
Okay. Episode number 9.
Episode number 9, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking us.
Dude, why are your English in the beginning is always shaky warrior?
It takes some warming up. Anyway, so we had Midori Sushi in Sunninghill. Really dope spot. We'll give you guys a little bit of feedback about what we eat, what we have, what we suggest, all of that. Been a hella busy week.
Yo, I'm only recovering today.
Dude.
Like, what a weekend.
Shows you old now, eh?
My bones are old, my mind is not.
What is it? 3 days to recover? 2 days to recover?
2 whole days, guys. My body took 2 whole days to recover from a weekend shoot. So
see, it proves you don't have kids. You see, when you have kids, bro, you don't have 2 days, dog.
You have 2 hours to sleep.
Yeah, dog. If you're lucky, then they're up and then it's time. We've been wanting to sit down and have some sushi and sake. This dude's first sake. How do you do that?
What do you mean? I was never a sake person. I always had my...
Excuse the pun.
No, dude, I was never a sake person, but I'm actually enjoying it. It's, cheers.
All right. Drink count. Don't forget to drink count.
I can't.
What is sake? Maybe people watching this, just never been in that space.
You should tell us.
It's a rice liquor, rice wine. We've got a consultant off to the left there who's off camera consultant.
Off the record, off camera.
Who basically says that it's a rice wine.
So it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. You enjoying it?
I'm enjoying it.
Could you drink this?
Not a whole. I think maybe that's a lot for me.
So is that you? Are you done after that?
We'll see. Maybe get a beer, some chilled.
It's a Chinese beer.
Definitely. I'll try Chinese beer.
Or is it Japanese? Sushi's Japanese, right?
The history of sushi it's actually not. It didn't start in Japan, did it?
What are you talking about?
Did it start in California?
I don't know. You tell me.
We'll find out.
We'll put it over here. I heard that story as well. So somebody said that sushi was actually created in the West.
Yeah.
Dude, what do you think they were eating in Japan?
Sushi!
You're an idiot, bro.
Meanwhile.
Another one.
Russ, did you guys lose this game or did the Jazz win this one?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
We have in our midst the one, the only, B to the we. Busisiwe Mokwena, journalist, sports journalist, right?
Sports journalist, specifically.
Sports journalist.
Yes.
And one of the dopest sports journalists, well, that I know.
Fitness bunny as well. Fitness addict.
Yeah.
Fitness addict. Guys, we'd really like to welcome onto the show Busisiwe Mokwena, our first female. Welcome to the show, Busi. Busi's a good friend of ours, guys, but we felt that we really wanted to have her on the show just based on the fact that she's a woman who's doing amazing things in her space, and I think that it would be cool for her to share, her story with us and motivate some young girls out there coming up. Young girls and guys, dude, as well.
And I think also to highlight that being a journalist doesn't limit you to one area.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where's Busi from? Who is Busisiwe Mokwena? Where are you from? How did you get into journalism? Was this something that you always wanted to do? Was it a passion? Did you study for it? Did you just fall into it? Was it a mistake?
Definitely.
Was it one of those cases where you knew someone who knows someone who knows someone?
Sometimes I wish I knew someone who knew someone who could draw me into the industry.
Yeah. To fast forward the process.
Yes, but unfortunately not. But I think through that I learned a lot. Taking baby steps.
Okay.
Being an intern.
But before you get
let's rewind. Let's take it back to the beginning. Who is Busisiwe Mokwena?
Guys, I really struggle with this question, all the time.
As a journalist, imagine a journalist struggling with the questions they ask the most.
But as a graphic designer, I struggle to make my own logo.
Exactly. See?
Don't try and justify it. It's bullshit.
No, it's true.
It's actually
I know journalists as well.
I'll write your one pager for you.
Okay.
And then you can practice it. Okay.
But it must be short.
But now,
I see what you did right there.
So guys, Busi's actually standing. Where's Busisiwe Mokwena from?
Okay, so I'm from Middelburg,
Okay.
Mpumalanga. That's where I'm from. That's where I grew up.
Yeah.
That's where I fell in love with sport.
Okay. So you played sport?
Yes.
What did you play?
I have a long list.
Give us a long list.
I know one of them, and it shocked me. Guess, guys, guess. Busi played basketball.
I don't know if I should say I fell in love with sport by chance.
Okay.
Because what comes first to mind when I talk about how I fell in love with sport was the 1996 AFCON.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I remember trialing for the high jump team in primary school. Obviously, I didn't do
Did
well.
she just say high jump?
Primary school, I played football during break with my friends back then. And then when I moved to high school, I was in the athletics team, I was in the volleyball team. I also didn't do that well there. I was just an average athlete. I knew not to be absent at any of the trainings because our coach then, Mr. Tolo, knew if I was not at training. Mr. Tolo was also my Zulu teacher in matric.
Yeah.
So he taught us Zulu first language.
Okay.
So he would know if I was not at training in the morning when he comes to class. Journalism, I always wanted to, no, not always, I'm lying. I wanted to be an actress. But then journalism came somewhere when I was doing, I think, grade 9. I always saw myself reading like the news on the telly. When, sport didn't come together that well, I mean, I never even got to represent our region. That's how I decided, you know what, because I love words, because I was in the debate team, I was in the athletics team, I was in the drama team, clubs rather, and because of words there and the sports that I love, I thought, why not? Maybe I can just
So you started
So it made
Yes, I started young because when I was in grade 11, I volunteered for the local radio station as a co-host and newsreader. So I guess it grew from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were actually physically doing stuff in a career that you wanted to get into already. That's very cool.
Yeah.
So
and to expose yourself into stuff like that early. So you also have an idea of what you're gonna get into. Growing into that. That's very cool. Yeah. Okay.
Well, obviously, community radio and commercial radio are totally different things.
Granted.
Yes, in how you gather your news, in how you present, and the audience as well. Because with community radio stations, you are sort of limited, like to the topics that you can discuss, or maybe the news that you can read. From that, I learned that it's good and well when you want to get into an industry, you learn as much as you can.
That's true.
By volunteering,
doing,
and yes, you get to grow and learn in the space so that once you get your big chance, you don't start from the bottom.
Exactly. So there's your experience check. So automatically you wanting to go into that space. Now when you're studying it, if you go and study, you've already got experience and you've got
You're a little bit ahead of everyone.
Exactly, which is cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
pretty
Yeah.
much. But I think maybe that's what made things easier when I got to college to study journalism. So I studied at Rosebank College, the Braamfontein campus.
Okay.
I was one of the few people who actually went out to find internships in the last year.
Okay.
So you physically went out to find them?
Yeah, a friend of mine, Lerato Pelefu, asked me to accompany her to the Sowetan because she went there, or she wanted to go there and apply for internship. And luckily they took both of us.
Okay.
And yes, when we got there, we did news.
Okay.
We reported news, and I'm not really a big fan of hard news, but it was an experience that I took, which is what made me bolder because after that internship had ended, I applied at Love Life as an intern as well to write for their magazine.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
And Love Life was big, man. So that must be like quite a bit of exposure in terms of like getting your written work out as well.
Yeah, actually, my relationship with Love Life doesn't begin there. After I completed my matric, there were no funds at home to take me to college or university.
Okay. Which is the case with a lot of kids.
Yes. But also because, honestly speaking, when I was in matric, I didn't do a lot of studying. Because I was like, you know what? No, it wasn't that.
Oh, playing sports, you were always on.
It wasn't. I was always busy. I mean, I was involved in 6 activities.
Yeah.
So it was debate. It was a debate, poetry, drama, volleyball, athletics, and Girl Scouts. I was involved in 6 activities, so I had to balance that with my schoolwork. And
so one suffered, which is your school.
Yeah, which is
also the case in the world.
Yeah, it happened.
I decided that okay, I can't just sit at home and not do anything. And at the time, Love Life was big. The following year, I think 2 or 3 people who were involved with the Love Life franchise in my hood came to my house, and they asked me to join them. Because I was in the debate club in school, and they said, Busi, just come, and because you're not really doing anything, you can just come and join us maybe once a week and join our debate club, and then we can go to schools and train other kids. I'm like, okay, sure. And then I went. The first year, I was a normal volunteer, which were called pinches. I was moved from debate to motivation.
Okay.
And then the following year, I was a groundbreaker in motivation as well. That's where I learned a lot of things about myself, and
that's what Love Life was about, I guess.
Yes.
In reality.
It was a social experiment.
Yeah.
It was.
It was a huge social experiment.
It was huge. When I went to apply for the internship with Love Life, I just emailed the CEO, and I told him, okay, I'm a former Love Life groundbreaker, and I'm completing my diploma in media studies and journalism, and I'd like to intern for okay, I forgot the name of the magazine now, but I'd love to be an intern with the magazine. And like, yeah, no, why not? And then he sent my details to the editor, and the editor called me in, and then I wrote for them, I think for 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
Just before I graduated. So yeah.
That's really cool.
That is really intense.
So yeah, it is. Like, are you doing a little bit less of things now? You started like honing down into, or cutting down, or you still
or
busy
specializing,
doing like a lot of things? Yeah. So what happened then? So after the internship at Love Life, how does your career end up where you are right now? You're a sports journalist at Kaya FM.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
But I also do contribute for the New Frame.
Okay.
Website, and I also just recently I was contributing for the Mail and Guardian as well.
Yeah, saw some of your articles on the Mail and Guardian. Yeah, big up on that.
Yeah.
How did that sort of transition happen? Because I mean, those are clearly 2 very different worlds.
Yeah.
You know, like, so how do you get to, and at radio or in radio, is this now? Are you like how like where are you? Like,
is it different from print?
Yeah, is it different? Yeah. Or are you still writing print articles, or is it print? Is it the internet? Like, what do you do? Yeah. So what's a typical day in your life?
Yo,
the thing is,
did they come from a deep place? Like,
you do everything.
My days are different.
Yeah.
There are no like similar days.
Yeah.
No.
After Love Life, how did you get into Kaya?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a huge gap between Love Life and Kaya.
So fill in the gap.
Okay, so after the internship with Love Life,
you graduated.
I graduated. Actually, towards the end of my diploma, FIFA had applications out for volunteers for the FIFA Confed in 2009.
okay.
So and then I applied, and at the time when I applied, I didn't know what it was all about, being a FIFA volunteer. I'm like, okay, FIFA volunteer, media, okay, I'm graduating soon, media, okay, let me just apply. And then I applied, and I was working there in the media department at the Ellis Park. And almost towards the end of the Confed, one of the guys were like, yeah, obviously you just graduated, Miss Media 24 is looking for interns for the Media 24 Journalism Academy. I did.
But you know how important that is, dude? You talk to so many successful people, and they're like, do it. Put yourself. Gary Vee talks about it. He talks about get yourself out
Be a
there, get
grind,
yourself
yeah,
known.
yeah.
And this is the story that she's telling. It's like she's already sitting at like we're probably at like internship number 3.
And a lot of the thing why I picked it up is that a lot of young guys in this generation, they don't want to intern. They think internships are bad.
Yeah, but not only that, they wonder why when you graduate you can't get a job because they're looking for experience.
Yeah.
Where are you going to get that experience?
If you joined volunteer
That's a good
as
thing
well.
to do.
Yeah.
So I applied for the Midori 24 Journalism Academy. So the academy takes 16 or used to take 16 applicants. And then it's a year-long program. In that program, you with Midori 24 at the time, well, still now, Midori 24 has magazine, newspapers, and online,
online content,
websites as well. So through that year, you get to experience all 3. So throughout the year, I was with the Daily Sun, I was with Women 24 in Cape Town, and then I was with Youth Magazine. And in almost all of them, I think I only did sport at Daily Sun. Probably only for a month. Probably even less, and all the time I was doing entertainment and news and
stuff
not me.
Stuff you don't like doing.
Exactly, it's not.
But I
me.
mean, hey, you're getting some sort of experience in your field.
Exactly.
As well.
Yes. You learn how to conduct interviews. You learn how to. It is. After the year internship with the academy, I got a contract with the Daily Sun for another year. I worked with them, I think the first 3 or 4 months I was in the news department, which was really hard because working for a daily newspaper is actually really hard.
Must be a lot of pressure though.
A lot.
Because you have to release news every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really hard because every day you have to attend conference, and at conference you have to present story ideas. And
do people make up stories? Like, you know, this has been like my biggest thing with journalism. It happens.
Unfortunately, there are people who make up stories.
Is it because of the pressure?
I think so.
I've always thought that. I've always wondered, with the pressure of being a journalist and having to deliver stories like on target, on time, every day. Surely some people must be like, you know, putting stories together or.
Which is why contacts are important in journalism. I stayed with them for a year, and in that year, maybe 3 or 4 months, I worked in the news department, and then the rest of the year I was in the sports department. It was hard because as much as I love sport and that's what I wanted to do, but I didn't really know my way around because all my experience I was either doing entertainment or news.
So you hadn't built any contacts.
None.
You knew nobody in the space.
None whatsoever. And you go to.
So it's like you're starting from scratch.
Yes,
actually.
exactly. I remember in 2010 when I was with the Daily Sun, I went to my first tournament ever. It was the Sasol League National Champs, the first tournament that I covered as a journalist. It was in Pulukwane. And I got there and there were already players who are playing for the national team, Banyana, and now I have to interview them. I'm like,
must have been scared, a little intimidating.
I'm like, where do I start interviewing Amanda Zamini? It was intimidating
because now you're also starstruck as well to an extent because these are people that you've been watching and probably admired in the way they play and all of that. And
Guys. I think I did well, but that was because there were people around me who were guiding me, who were experienced in the industry.
There's another important tip. Mentors. Get people to sort of hold your hand through the process because you're not going to get it right by yourself. It's not going to happen.
No. And then after spending that year at Daily Sun, unfortunately things didn't go well. My contract was not renewed, and for the following year I had to freelance a lot, and sometimes the pay was terrible, like horrible
or non-existent.
I'd just be able to afford a BIS, write the story, send it through. Honestly speaking, I don't know why I didn't give up at that point because it was really bad.
It shows
it
shows your character.
It's like, don't give up no matter how hard it is. If you really want to get into something and it's really important to you, just don't give up.
Daily Sun called me again to work with them, and I spent the next, I think, 4 years with them. And
so you had a proper career with Daily Sun.
Under the Daily Sun, I won 3 BG Sport Awards.
Okay.
All of them were women in media,
Okay.
print.
Yeah.
All three of them.
So those are big awards. I mean, so surely at that point you have to recognize that your peers or people out there, or the industry as a whole, is starting to recognize who you are. That must have felt good.
It did.
I think it goes to the whole reward and recognition thing. Let's touch on that now before we move forward. Is that important for you to be acknowledged and celebrated by your peers or by the industry? Or how do you get validation?
I get self-validation when Banyana players get paid on time, or when
So you're fighting
netball players
other causes,
get paid all the time, like on time. That's me. When I see Banyana players or just athletes getting recognition, or maybe getting a move overseas when they're playing netball. Yes, that's
actually very dope.
Very selfless.
Very selfless. Extremely selfless. She's doing what she loves, number one, not for herself, but to get women in sport recognized and grow and
to a better place
and
in
to be in a better absolutely, which is super commendable. What's in the pipeline for Busisiwe? Like, where can we expect to see your name? Give us high-level stuff of what you want to do, where you're at, where you're going.
The next big step for me, after the stuff we can't talk about, is writing a book. I'd really love to tell stories of South African football players. Like, there's so much to tell.
Yeah. Female specifically?
Yes.
Okay, so we're sticking there.
No one tells stories of female athletes.
What I will do is that I'll help you take the photos for you. That's on me. To help you do your best. That's on me. Where did the idea come from?
Yeah. The idea came with that we don't have voices for female footballers.
Yeah. Like, where's the kid's motivation? Like, where's the young girl who's 12 or 13, leaving primary school into high school, thinking I'm really good at soccer or volleyball or hockey or cricket or whatever?
Yes.
Where's their mentors or motivation? Like, where's that? And I think that things like that make a massive thing. I think you're not only contributing to sport, but to education as a whole. If you do that,
society. And to possible careers. There's so much.
Yeah. I have a cousin. She used to play football, but right now, when you say Bumi, women's football, she doesn't want to hear a thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's the perception that I would like to change, especially for younger, upcoming players. That even though there's so many challenges, because there are plenty, like tons.
Do you want to discuss those challenges as well in your book?
Yes. That's definitely. Because the person that I would like to focus on speaks out openly about the challenges she faced, as a player.
That is true.
Even when she retired or when she
left.
Paused from the game.
We're carrying on in radio.
Yes.
We want to move forward in that. We want to grow in that space.
Definitely.
More print.
I would never ever leave print.
That's your passion, right?
Yes, ever. Because when after a year being on Kaya and I hadn't been writing for a print publication, I felt it like badly, like I really felt it. I felt like something was short. I bumped into a huge story, women's football story.
Okay, yeah.
And because we couldn't have that story on radio because the players were not comfortable with talking on the record.
Because obviously that's their livelihood.
We approached the Mail and Guardian and pitched the story, and they were happy to run the story with us. And guys, I was excited.
So that was one of the probably your latest, I think, career highlights. Yes. I remember when that story ran, and you got an influx of feedback.
Yes.
So from pretty much everyone in the industry, sports and journalism, editors,
TV, and editors and people who I never thought followed my work from back in the day, Daily Sun and Sunday Sun.
It just shows.
I got messages of support and congratulations.
It just shows how much you're on the radar. As small as you are.
I can't wait. I love writing. I'll never stop writing. Even in the future, when I decide, maybe I want a new challenge and maybe venture into TV.
Just give us a little snippet about challenges in the industry, especially. And I know that this is a rabbit hole that can go on forever. But give us maybe a high level of what the challenges are in the industry as a journalist, especially
as
a female journalist in sports specifically? What are your challenges? And I know we can do a whole episode of this, but just throw in a few things out there of, you know, to give people an idea of what you deal with on a daily basis, and so that they have an idea as well to, you know, sort of see, you know, what the mindset, what are you fighting on a daily basis?
First of all, getting into sports media is difficult as a woman, because when you try to, you know, knock on doors,
close very quickly.
Yes, because people who actually have keys to those doors are not sure whether you are just passing through or you just knocking because you have a crush on maybe the
editor-in-chief.
Yes, or maybe the national rugby captain or whatever. So it's difficult getting in. But once you have your foot in, it becomes more difficult, because then you'd have to make sure that every time, especially if you're working for a daily newspaper, you have to make sure that you have good stories every day. Even if maybe your male counterparts don't have fresh stories on those days, you need to make sure that you have the cutting edge stories. I think
so. You need to still not only fight for being a journalist, but now you must fight the men.
In that space. So I'm sure it's completely a male dominated.
It is. You know, sometimes I go to a press conference and there's just maybe like 3, never more than 5 female
in an entire room.
Yes. There's maybe me, a reporter, and maybe 2 camera operators.
What?
Yeah, and
so you could be the only female reporter.
Yeah, and maybe another female reporter, and
it's crazy.
like most of the time it's like that.
Like,
I would like it to change.
Well, how's about you steer on that change? Let's do it. You're on that path, Busi. You're on the path to make a change for young girls coming into this. You know, whether it means you start a school, you start a mentorship program, you start bringing up young girls who have a passion for sport and get to them before it gets killed.
I would like to make it easier for them than it was for me, because I still have to prove myself even today.
What other challenges can you like kind of throw in?
Being taken seriously by peers. It's not usually the case. Which is one, but it's also like part of my personality. I go to a press conference or to a story and I just sit there by myself on my phone, and that's just me. Honestly, hopefully in the future the industry can be kind of
more adaptable.
You know,
so if you look at trends internationally, is that something that is changing?
Not quite,
Really?
Even internationally?
No.
So you would say that this is pretty much the same globally?
Yes.
Jeez,
Like recently,
so you're starting almost a global movement in this space.
Like recently, the U.S. national women's football national team, they are protesting pay. They're not getting
even close to what their male counterparts are getting. It's crazy. And if you think that's bad, you don't even want to know what the numbers are in our country.
No.
We'll chat about that.
That could be another episode.
Guys, there's 5 episodes waiting after this one. So you're going to be a regular.
So, but I think I've also seen a female reporter after a football game, American football game. Like the player hit on her while she's trying to interview him.
I've seen that.
I've
seen that. Even basketball players do that.
What the?
You can say it.
Yes.
Off the record.
Like,
say it.
She was just trying to do her work, and now she has to
be subjected to that. Whereas males won't be subjected to that, even if they're there. So that's the other thing I wanted to ask you. Do you cover any male sports?
I do. I do cover the PSL.
Okay. So that's where you go on Tuesday and Thursday nights.
Yes. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Fridays, and Saturdays and Sundays. No. And Saturdays and Sundays. That's where I am.
She's a busy woman. Like, I don't know how she has time for anything else.
For jolly,
guys,
especially.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you guys for having me.
That was actually fun.
I think it was.
I learned so much.
It really was a fun episode. I think that a lot of people will get something out of it. Thank you for sharing your story. It's super inspiring. And I mean, we're fully behind you. We'll be rooting. We're in your corner.
Yes.
You know, we got you. And so I think that big things to come for Busisiwe Mokwena. Watch the name.
Watch the name.
Soon to be Dr. Busisiwe Mokwena. Practice it. So I think that's off the record. Sushi, sakè, and Busisiwe.
Guys, on that bombshell, if you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button.
Yeah.
Hit the bell notification.
Over here.
So you know it's somewhere.
Yeah.
Or there. I don't know.
Hit the bell notification. You're already there. You know, you click subscribe, you hit the bell right next to it because you want to know when we're dropping episodes. As we said, we're gonna drop some stuff that's not on us, that's not on YouTube, on some of our socials. So hit us up on the socials at offtherecordZA. Comment, like, share.
Yeah, and come join us.
Come join us. Remember to comment in the previous episode, right?
Watch the other episodes as well. If
episodes.
this is the first one you're watching, catch
Go
the
back
other
to number
episodes.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
The
8.
first one.
Back to the first one.
Yeah.
No, the first one is a teaser.
I know.
Yeah.
So do you want to start with the teaser?
Yes.
Okay, we see start from the teaser.
Yeah, because she has. You'll catch her comments on all the episodes as well. So
guys, we'll see you next
It's been
week.
another dope one.
Episode 10 next week. Yo, episode 10, bro.
Yep.
Oh, that's dope.
We're going to double digits now.
Actually, it's only 9, but anyway, whatever you want. You see what I mean?
You're confusing.
I did that. Yeah.
Guys,
What up?
peace, love.
Peace out.
Twitter.
Off the record, ZA. Peace out.